They didn't summon us for peace. They didn't invite us for unity. They called us to stand trial and to kneel. The Galactic Council's orders were clear. The species designated human will answer for their crimes against stability. Crimes, exploration, survival, defiance. Our crime was being too stubborn to die quietly. The chamber was massive, a hollow planet turned into a courtroom, seats for 1,000 species, from gelatinous cloud forms to silicon titans. At the center, one human, Staff Sergeant Alex Reeve, U.S. Marine, decorated, battle-scarred, unbreakable. But he wasn't here with an army. He wasn't here with backup. Just his uniform, his scars, and the cold, hard truth. The Council didn't want justice. They wanted submission. Reeve's boots echoed across polished obsidian floors as they led him in. The other delegates whispered, tall, elegant, alien beings with eyes older than stars. Their words were venom, primitive, violent. They should have stayed in their cradle. Reeve kept walking, chest high. U.S. Marines' patch burned, blood-stained, but clear, because Earth never sent cowards to represent them. At the center of the hall floated the Judicator's throne. A being older than human civilization itself sat there, all tendrils and shimmering crystalline flesh. The voice that came from its form wasn't sound. It was felt in the spine. Humanity stands accused. You expanded without permission. You crossed borders left untouched for millennia. You destabilized balance. Balance. A neat way to say, you reminded the stars that fear isn't just for the weak. Reeve's shackles clicked open. He stepped forward, unarmed, alone. But his presence carried centuries of human defiance. His voice didn't waver. You call it destabilization. We call it survival. The chamber stirred. The Kavar hissed. The Zarn delegate recoiled. Only the Judicator remained still. Your kind breeds chaos. Left unchecked, you will ignite the old wars. What say you in defense of your species, soldier? Reeve smiled. Not arrogant, but the quiet grin of a human who's lost too much to be afraid anymore. I'm not here to plead. I'm here to remind you why you fear us. The Council laughed. They expected him to beg, to apologize. They forgot what humans carry. Loss, pain, memory wrapped in grit. We don't beg. We endure. The Judicator's tendrils curled, sensing the shift. You speak boldly for a doomed race. Reeve took a breath. The scars on his knuckles caught the light, reminders of every battle, every friend buried, every flag folded. You think this trial decides our fate? You're already too late. The chamber's lights dimmed, not from malfunction, but from presence. Earth's fleet hadn't come, but something else had. The Council stared at the void beyond the observation windows. Stars bent, space rippled, and from the dark, they arrived. Humans, veterans, civilians, refugees, every face of Earth, staring back at the Council, unbroken, undeniable. Not through ships, through unity. Broadcasts flooded the chamber, families standing proud, colonists building homes on hostile worlds, scientists unlocking secrets the Council hoarded. Humanity wasn't a threat because of weapons. We were a threat because we refused to vanish. Reeve's voice cut through the silence. You thought this was our trial? This is your reckoning. The judicator recoiled. The Kavar cowered. The Zarn vanished from their seats. And the chamber remembered. You can suppress fear. You can erase maps. But you can't silence a species born to rise. Reeve stood alone. No chains, no backup. Just a soldier, carrying the weight of an entire planet's stubborn, burning hope. The council began to beg, not for justice, but for mercy. And that's when the stars themselves seemed to lean closer, to listen, and to remember. Humans don't kneel. The judicator's glow dimmed. For the first time in millennia, its crystal flesh pulsed with hesitation. The chamber echoed with silence, the kind that falls before the collapse of empires. Staff Sergeant Alex Reeve stood alone, shoulders squared, gaze steady. The council, ancient species who'd ruled the stars for eons, leaned back, uncertain. You don't understand, human, the judicator rasped. You were designed to serve, to fade. Reeve didn't flinch. His voice, gravel-laced and sharp as broken glass, cut through the arrogance. We were designed to fight. And when the fighting's done, we rebuild. The Kavar ambassador, a skeletal creature with translucent scales, hissed across the hall. You bring entropy wherever you crawl. Your wars scar worlds. Your defiance spreads like infection. Reeve's eyes narrowed. His fingers grazed the faded patch on his sleeve. U.S. Marines. Frayed from battle. Worn from loss. But never removed. You call it infection, he muttered. We call it evolution. Outside, Earth's transmissions kept flooding in. Images of resilience, colonies thriving in asteroid fields, children playing under artificial suns, soldiers burying their dead, and standing tall the next day. The council wanted submission. But they'd forgotten what humanity does best. We endure. We adapt. And when pushed, we rise. The judicator's voice trembled, crystalline tendrils curling like a wounded animal. You refuse order. You reject extinction, even when it is merciful. Reeve took a single step forward. The chamber's security fields buzzed. Dozens of alien delegates recoiled instinctively. He wasn't armed, but he was dangerous. We're not here because we obeyed your rules. We're here because we broke them. The crowd shifted uneasily. Every species present, bred under council control, taught to fear deviation, watched Reeve with wary awe. They'd never seen a species that defied the timeline, that clawed its way into the galactic fold, uninvited. The Zarn ambassador, a floating mass of energy and data, pulsed with rage. You risk destabilizing the unity spiral. You resurrect chaos. Reeve's smirk was cold, earned. Funny thing about chaos, you never know who survives it. He wasn't just talking to the council. He was talking to every world watching, every suppressed colony, every species told to kneel and forget how to dream. The judicator's final warning rang out, voice heavy with ancient regret. Your kind remembers suffering, but you've forgotten your place. Reeve's eyes hardened, steel, loss, fury woven into every syllable. We never had a place. We carved one out with blood, bone, and fire. And we're not done yet. The chamber lights flickered. Not mechanical failure, but presence. From beyond the Council's walls, Earth's fleet finally arrived, silent, vast, positioned not for war, but for witness. Their signal broadcast into every frequency. We will not kneel. We will not vanish. We remember who we are. The Judicator's glow fractured, cracks spreading like spiderwebs across its crystalline form. For the first time, fear seeped into its voice. You would condemn your species to extinction rather than submit? Reeve's answer was quiet, steady, human. We'd rather burn than forget. In the distance, stars pulsed, ancient, watching. The Council had ruled through fear for generations, but fear only works until someone remembers they're dangerous too. And humanity? We've been dangerous since the first fire. The Council wasn't ready, but now they'd beg for mercy. The chamber's air changed. You could feel it. In the way the alien delegates shifted in their seats, in the electric hum trembling across the obsidian floor. For the first time in generations, the Council wasn't in control, and the galaxy was watching. Reeve's boots echoed as he stepped forward. No armor, no weapons, but every scar on his body screamed louder than missiles ever could. His eyes swept the hall, at the towering Kavar, wrapped in translucent arrogance, the dataform Zarn, pulsing with manufactured superiority, and the Judicator, cracking at the edges like glass under pressure. They called us primitive, violent, unworthy. But they'd forgotten the simplest truth. We adapt. And when the universe tells us to kneel, we stand taller. The Judicator tried to steady its form, voice reverberating like breaking ice. This is not your place, human. You trespass beyond your limits. We have preserved galactic order for millennia. Reeve's chuckle cut through the speech like a blade. You preserved your comfort. You erased the ones who didn't fit. And now, you're scared we remember. The chamber's enormous observation windows flickered to life. Not Council broadcasts, Earth's signal. Millions of human faces lit the walls. Old, young, scarred, defiant. Voices layered into a single unstoppable chorus. We remember. Images poured in. Colonists turning barren moons. Green engineers rebuilding cities from ruins. Soldiers saluting flag-draped coffins. And standing taller the next day. We weren't here because we were perfect. We were here because we never gave up. The Zarn delegates' form spasmed, destabilized by fear. You weaponize instability. You thrive on chaos. Reeve's smile held no apology. Chaos? That's life. You want neat, quiet extinction. We choose the fight. Outside, Earth's fleet shifted formation, not to threaten, to remind them, we came uninvited, we stayed unwelcome, and we changed the rules, because that's what humans do. The Judicator's final facade cracked, voice softer now, almost pleading, do you not fear extinction? Reeve's eyes darkened, haunted, weathered, but unbroken. We live with extinction every day. Disease, war, loss. We carry those scars. But we also carry hope. That's what terrifies you. The chamber shuddered as hidden factions within the Council began to stir. The oppressed, the forgotten. Species that once admired the Council, now watching humanity with hope instead of disgust. The Council's control fractured, and Reeve delivered the final blow. You wanted us to beg. But we came to remind you, fear was never our weapon. It was yours. Silence fell. The stars beyond the glass pulsed like ancient witnesses, remembering every time they told humans you can't. And every time we did. The Council, ancient and proud, had forgotten. We don't bow to fear. We build from it. We rise. The Council was silent now, not in control, not revered, but exposed. And the galaxy was watching them break. Outside, Earth's fleet remained still. Not a single weapon raised, not a single threat uttered. Because we didn't need firepower to win this fight. We brought something older, more dangerous. Truth. The truth that frightened them more than missiles ever could. We survived. Every plague, every war, every impossible odd stacked against us. And still, we endured. Staff Sergeant Alex Reeve stood in the center of their marble court, not with arrogance, but with the quiet, burning pride of someone who knows loss and refuses to let it define him. The Judicator's crystalline body pulsed weakly, fractures running along its limbs. You cannot destabilize centuries of order with words. Reeve's voice cut through the chamber like thunder. I'm not destabilizing anything. I'm reminding the galaxy order built on fear is already broken. Delegates from forgotten species began rising from their seats, eyes wide, voices trembling. For the first time, they questioned the Council's control. The chamber flickered as hidden transmissions leaked across the hall, worlds scarred by Council rule, civilizations erased for defiance, entire species told to stay small. And yet, humanity crawled out of the dark, bleeding, bruised, unbroken. The Kavar ambassador's hiss faltered. You're a spark, temporary. You'll fade. Reeve's gaze sharpened, voice steel-forged. Funny thing about sparks, they light fires. The stars beyond the windows pulsed, not with weapons, but with awakening. Across the galaxy, species whispered. The humans made them beg. The trial turned. They remember who they are. The Council's arrogance shattered. The Judicator's final words wavered with fractured pride. You will regret this awakening. Reeve's reply wasn't anger. It wasn't revenge. It was promise. We regret nothing. We rise. And now, the galaxy does too. The trial ended not with a sentence, but with the collapse of control. Worlds reclaimed their voices. The Council, once untouchable, begged for mercy not from weapons, but from the unstoppable truth. Humanity doesn't disappear. We adapt. We fight. We endure. And when the stars tell us we don't belong, we remind them we always have. The chamber emptied. The Council faded. But the memory burned into every system, every world. The humans stood alone and made the galaxy remember them.